Commander Sarah Chen watched through the observation deck windows as the transport ship New Horizon docked with Gamma Station. The massive space station orbited the outer rim planet of Kepler 442b, serving as humanity's furthest outpost in this sector of the galaxy. As the station's security chief, Sarah had seen thousands of arrivals, but today felt different. The New Horizon carried refugees from the failed colony on Titan 7. Among them were families who had lost everything when the terraforming project collapsed. Sarah's enhanced German Shepherd Rex stood beside her, his cybernetic implants glowing softly blue in the dim lighting. Rex wasn't just a pet. He was a fully integrated security partner, enhanced with technology that made him capable of detecting threats no human scanner could identify. "Another batch of refugees," muttered Lieutenant Torres, Sarah's second-in-command. "That makes 800 this month." Sarah nodded, her eyes still focused on the docking bay. The Galactic Council had been impressed by humanity's willingness to take in displaced beings from across the sector. Other species found it puzzling that humans would burden themselves with refugees who offered little economic value. But humans had always been different that way. Rex suddenly tensed, his augmented senses picking up something from the docking bay 3 levels below. His tail stopped wagging and he let out a low whine. Sarah knelt beside him, placing her hand on his enhanced neural interface collar. "What is it, boy?" she asked softly. Through their neural link, she could feel Rex's confusion and concern, but not the specific cause. The refugees began disembarking in groups. Sarah watched families emerge, tired faces, children clinging to parents, elderly beings supported by younger relatives. The diversity was typical of human space. Humans had a habit of collecting friends from every species they encountered. While other galactic civilizations remained largely segregated by species, human colonies were always mixed communities. Then Sarah saw her. A young human girl, perhaps 12 years old, guided her wheelchair down the transport ramp with practiced ease. Her name was Maya, according to the passenger manifest Sarah had reviewed earlier. The girl had been paralyzed in the same industrial accident that killed her parents on Titan 7. She was traveling alone to Gamma Station, where distant relatives had agreed to take her in. Rex's whining intensified, becoming more urgent. His enhanced eyes were locked on Maya as she maneuvered through the crowd. Sarah frowned. Rex had never reacted this way to a disabled person before. His training included extensive socialization with people of all abilities. Something else was triggering his response. "Rex, sit," Sarah commanded. But the dog remained standing, every muscle tense with alertness. In the docking bay, Maya moved with remarkable independence. Her wheelchair was clearly modified with advanced tech, probably salvaged from the colony before the evacuation. She navigated around groups of refugees with fluid grace, occasionally offering help to struggling families despite her own situation. Dr. Elizabeth Harper, the station's chief medical officer, appeared beside Sarah. "I'm here to process the medical intake for the refugees. That young girl, Maya Patel, she's on my priority list. Lost both parents in the Titan 7 disaster. What can you tell me about her condition?" Sarah asked, still watching Rex's strange behavior. "Spinal injury from falling debris during the evacuation. Completely paralyzed from the waist down. Poor child has been through hell." Dr. Harper paused, following Sarah's gaze to Rex. "Is something wrong with your partner?" Rex had begun to pace now, his enhanced paws clicking on the metal deck plating. His cybernetic sensors were running continuous scans, but Sarah couldn't interpret the data streams flowing through their neural link. Whatever he was detecting, it was beyond her understanding. "I'm not sure," Sarah admitted. "He's picking up something about that girl, but I can't figure out what." In the docking bay, Maya had stopped near a family of Altarian refugees. The blue-skinned beings were struggling with their belongings, and their universal translator was malfunctioning. Maya quickly diagnosed the problem and, using tools from her wheelchair's built-in kit, fixed the device within minutes. The grateful family bowed in the traditional Altarian manner, and Maya smiled, the first genuine smile Sarah had seen from any refugee today. This was so typically human, Sarah thought. While other species focused on their own survival, humans instinctively helped others even when they themselves were struggling. The Galactic Council still couldn't understand this behavior. They saw it as inefficient, illogical, but Sarah knew it was one of humanity's greatest strengths. Rex's pacing became more agitated. He looked up at Sarah with his enhanced eyes, the cybernetic components glowing brighter as his emotional stress increased. Through their link, Sarah felt waves of urgency, protectiveness, and something else, a deep need to investigate something about Maya. "I think we should go down to the docking bay," Sarah said finally. "Rex clearly needs to check something out." Dr. Harper nodded. "I was heading there anyway for the medical screening. That girl will need a full examination before she can be cleared for station residence." As they made their way to the transport lifts, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that Rex's behavior meant something important. In their 3 years as partners, he had never been wrong about a threat. But Maya didn't seem threatening. She seemed like a brave kid making the best of a terrible situation. The lift descended through the station's levels, passing through residential sectors where other refugee families had been temporarily housed. Gamma Station had been built to accommodate 15,000 beings, but with the constant stream of refugees from failed colonies, they were pushing capacity limits. When the lift doors opened onto the docking bay level, Rex immediately strained against his leash, pulling toward Maya's location. Sarah could see the girl had found a quiet corner where she was organizing her few possessions. She sat alone, finally allowing herself a moment of vulnerability away from the crowds. Rex's urgency intensified, and Sarah realized this wasn't about any external threat. This was about Maya herself. Something about her was triggering every protective instinct in Rex's enhanced neural network. But what could a 12-year-old refugee girl possibly be hiding? As they approached, Sarah made a decision that would change everything. She was going to find out exactly why her partner was so determined to investigate Maya Patel. Sarah approached Maya slowly, Rex straining at his leash with increasing urgency. The girl looked up as they drew near, her dark eyes showing a mixture of wariness and curiosity. Most children were delighted to see Rex. His cybernetic enhancements made him look like something from their favorite space adventure stories. But Maya's expression remained guarded. "Hello?" Sarah said gently, crouching down to Maya's eye level. "I'm Commander Chen, head of station security. This is my partner Rex. We wanted to welcome you to Gamma Station." Maya studied Rex carefully, her gaze lingering on his glowing neural implants. "He's beautiful," she said softly. "I've never seen a cybernetic K9 before. The enhancements look military-grade." Sarah was impressed by the girl's technical knowledge. Most 12-year-olds wouldn't recognize military specifications. "You know about cybernetic systems? My parents were engineers on Titan 7, Maya explained, her voice carrying only a slight tremor when mentioning them. They worked on the biological integration systems for the terraforming project. I spent a lot of time in their lab." Rex continued to focus intently on Maya, his enhanced senses working overtime. Through their neural link, Sarah felt his confusion growing stronger. He wanted to approach the girl, but something was holding him back. Not fear, but a kind of respectful distance, as if he sensed something fragile that needed protection. Dr. Harper joined them, her medical scanner already in hand. "Maya Patel? I'm Dr. Harper, Chief Medical Officer. I need to run a standard health screening for all new arrivals." Maya nodded, extending her arm for the scanner. The device hummed as it took readings, but Dr. Harper's expression shifted from routine professionalism to concern, then confusion. She ran the scanner again, frowning at the results. "That's odd," she muttered, adjusting the device settings. "Maya, have you had any medical treatments recently? Any medications or supplements?" "No, nothing since the evacuation," Maya replied. "Why, is something wrong?" Dr. Harper exchanged a glance with Sarah. "The scanner is picking up some unusual readings. Nothing dangerous," she added quickly, seeing Maya's worried expression. "But I'd like to do a more thorough examination in the medical bay." Rex suddenly sat down directly in front of Maya's wheelchair, his enhanced eyes locked on hers. He began a low rhythmic bark, not aggressive but insistent. It was a pattern Sarah had never heard from him before, almost musical in its cadence. Maya's reaction was immediate and startling. Her eyes widened and she gripped the arms of her wheelchair tightly. "How does he know?" she whispered. "Know what?" Sarah asked urgently. Before Maya could answer, Rex's barking changed. It became more urgent, more protective. Other refugees in the docking bay turned to look, but Rex ignored them completely. His attention was focused solely on Maya, and through their neural link, Sarah felt his overwhelming need to guard her. "Maya," Dr. Harper said gently, I think we need to talk privately. These readings suggest there might be something about your condition that wasn't in your medical files from Titan 7. Maya looked between the doctor, the security commander, and the cybernetic dog who seemed to see right through her. Finally, she sighed with the weight of someone far older than her 12 years. The files are incomplete, she admitted quietly. There wasn't time to update them during the evacuation, and I asked the medical team not to include certain information. Sarah felt Rex's excitement spike through their link. Whatever he had detected, Maya was about to confirm it. The accident that paralyzed me, Maya continued. It happened in my parents' lab. I wasn't just injured by falling debris. I was exposed to something they were working on, an experimental biological enhancement system designed to help colonists adapt to Kepler 442b's unique environment. Dr. Harper's medical scanner was now beeping continuously as it detected whatever changes the enhancement system had made to Maya's biology. What kind of enhancements? My parents called it Project Renaissance, Maya explained. It was meant to help humans develop new abilities that would make them better suited for frontier worlds. Enhanced healing, improved sensory processing, increased neural plasticity, but it was still in early testing when the colony failed. Rex's barking intensified, and Sarah suddenly understood what he had been detecting. The cybernetic enhancements in Rex's brain were responding to similar technology in Maya. Not mechanical implants, but biological modifications that were changing her on a cellular level. Maya, Sarah said carefully, are you saying you've been enhanced like Rex, but with biological systems instead of cybernetic ones? The girl nodded slowly. The paralysis isn't permanent. It's temporary, caused by my nervous system adapting to the changes. My parents' research showed that the enhancement process sometimes causes temporary neurological disruption, while the body integrates the new capabilities. Dr. Harper was scanning frantically now, her readings showing biological markers unlike anything in standard human physiology. This is incredible. Maya, do you realize what this means? If your parents succeeded in developing biological enhancement technology, it would represent the next stage of human evolution, Maya finished. That's what they believed. They thought humans needed to adapt if we were going to survive on the frontier worlds where other species couldn't. Through the neural link, Sarah felt Rex's protective instincts reaching a crescendo. He had recognized Maya not as a threat, but as something precious that needed to be guarded. His enhanced systems had identified her as carrying technology that could transform humanity's future in the galaxy. Maya, Sarah said gently, how much do you know about your parents' research? The girl reached into her wheelchair's storage compartment and pulled out a small data crystal. Everything, she said simply. All their research, all their data, all their notes about Project Renaissance. They gave it to me just before the evacuation, made me promise to keep it safe. Rex finally moved closer to Maya, gently placing his head against her hand in a gesture of protection and acceptance. Through their link, Sarah felt his certainty. This girl was important, not just to humanity's future, but to the immediate survival of everyone on Gamma Station. Because Maya's enhanced abilities weren't just about adaptation to frontier worlds. As her biological systems finished integrating the changes, she would develop capabilities that no baseline human possessed. And given the increasing threats humanity faced on the galactic frontier, those abilities might soon be desperately needed. Maya, Dr. Harper said softly, I think we need to continue this conversation in a more secure location, and we need to start monitoring your condition immediately. If your parents were right about the temporary nature of your paralysis, how long do you think it will be before the integration is complete? Sarah asked. Maya looked down at Rex, who continued to watch her with protective intensity. Based on my parents' calculations, probably within the next few days. And when it happens, I'll be the first successful human enhancement experiment. The question is, what happens after that? Rex's continued barking seemed to suggest that they were about to find out whether they were ready or not. 3 hours later, Maya sat in the secure medical wing of Gamma Station while Dr. Harper ran comprehensive scans. Rex had refused to leave her side, positioning himself protectively next to her wheelchair. His constant, low-level barking had become a comforting background sound, and Maya found herself feeling safer than she had since her parents' death. Sarah studied the data streaming across the medical displays. Maya's biological readings were unlike anything in human medical databases. Her neural activity showed patterns that resembled the enhanced processing capabilities of advanced AI systems, but implemented through purely biological means. Your parents were geniuses, Dr. Harper said, reviewing the research data from Maya's crystal. They found a way to accelerate human evolution using directed biological modification. These enhancement systems could adapt humans for any environment. Maya nodded tiredly. They believed humanity needed to evolve to survive on the frontier. Other species had millions of years to develop specialized abilities for their home worlds. Humans only had our adaptability and our technology. Project Renaissance was meant to give us something more. Through the medical bay's windows, they could see the vast expanse of space surrounding Gamma Station. In the distance, the lights of other space platforms dotted the darkness. Outposts from various galactic civilizations, most of which viewed humanity with suspicion or contempt. Maya, Sarah asked gently, what exactly will you be able to do when the integration process completes? The girl consulted her parents' notes on a tablet. Enhanced sensory processing, improved pattern recognition, accelerated healing, increased neural connectivity. But the most important enhancement is something they called biological networking, the ability to interface directly with both organic and artificial systems. Rex's barking suddenly changed pitch, becoming more urgent. Through their neural link, Sarah felt his alarm spike. Something was wrong, but not in the medical bay. Somewhere else on the station. Commander Chen to the bridge, came Lieutenant Torres's voice over the comm system. We have a situation. Sarah activated her communicator. What's the status, Torres? Long-range sensors are detecting multiple ships approaching our position. Configuration suggests Kithera raiders, at least 6 vessels. At approximately 4 hours. Dr. Harper looked up from her scans, worried. Kithera raiders haven't attacked a human station in over 2 years. Why would they risk it now? Sarah's blood ran cold as she realized the answer. The Kithera were one of the most technologically advanced species in the galaxy, but they had always been obsessed with acquiring new enhancement technologies. If word had somehow leaked about Project Renaissance... Maya, Sarah said urgently, does anyone else know about your parents' research? The girl shook her head. The data crystal was encrypted and hidden. Only I know the access codes, but... She paused, looking troubled. During the evacuation from Titan 7, there were some communication intercepts. The Kithera had monitoring stations near the system. They might have detected fragments of my parents' research transmissions. Rex's barking intensified further, and through their link, Sarah felt his protective instincts reaching a dangerous level. He had somehow sensed the approaching threat and was determined to guard Maya at all costs. We need to evacuate the station, Dr. Harper said. If the Kithera want Maya's enhancement technology... No, Maya interrupted firmly. The Kithera aren't just raiders. They're enhancement collectors. They capture beings with unique abilities and study them, often fatally. If they get this technology, they'll use it to enhance their own species and then eliminate humanity as a potential threat. Sarah's mind raced through tactical possibilities. Gamma Station had defensive capabilities, but nothing that could stand against 6 Kithera vessels. The station's population included 800 refugees who couldn't be evacuated in time. There has to be another option, Sarah said. Maya, your parents' research, is there anything in it that could help us defend against the Kithera? Maya was quiet for a moment, studying her parents' notes with new urgency. Rex had stopped barking and was now watching her intently, as if he understood the gravity of the situation. Actually, Maya said slowly, there might be. My parents designed the enhancement system to be adaptive. It doesn't just give humans new abilities. It allows us to interface with any technology we encounter. The theory was that enhanced humans could learn to operate alien systems by direct biological connection. Dr. Harper's eyes widened. Are you suggesting you could interface with the station's defense systems? More than that, Maya replied, excitement building in her voice. If the integration process is far enough along, I might be able to interface with the Kithera ships themselves. Their technology relies heavily on biological components. With the right approach, I could potentially disable their vessels from a distance. Sarah felt a mixture of hope and concern. Maya, you're 12 years old. Even if you have these abilities asking you to defend the station. Commander, Maya said with quiet determination, my parents died believing that their research could help humanity survive on the frontier. 800 refugees are depending on this station for safety. Rex can sense that I'm ready for this. That's why he's been protecting me. As if to confirm her words, Rex moved closer to Maya's wheelchair and placed his paw gently on her hand. Through their neural link, Sarah felt his absolute confidence in Maya's abilities. Dr. Harper checked her latest scans. Maya, your neural activity has increased dramatically in the last hour. The stress of the situation seems to be accelerating the integration process. I think your enhancement systems are responding to the threat. How long until the Kithara arrive? Maya asked. Sarah checked the tactical display. 3 hours, 47 minutes. Maya nodded, a look of determination replacing the vulnerability Sarah had seen earlier. Then we'd better get started. Dr. Harper, I'll need access to the station's central computing core. Commander Chen, Rex is going to be essential to this process. His cybernetic systems can help bridge the gap between my biological enhancements and the station's technology. Through the neural link, Rex communicated his readiness to Sarah. He understood that he and Maya would need to work together, combining cybernetic and biological enhancement to create something neither could achieve alone. Maya, Sarah said carefully, are you sure about this? What you're proposing has never been tested. The girl looked out at the stars where somewhere in the darkness, 6 Kithara ships were approaching with hostile intent. When she turned back to Sarah, her expression held a maturity that seemed far beyond her years. My parents spent their lives believing that humans could adapt to anything the galaxy threw at us. They gave their lives to make that belief a reality. Now it's time to find out if they were right. Rex's protective barking resumed, but now it carried a different tone. Not just protection, but partnership. Together, a cybernetically enhanced German Shepherd and a biologically enhanced 12-year-old girl were about to attempt something that would either save Gamma Station or demonstrate the limits of human adaptation. Either way, they were about to show the galaxy what made humanity unique among the stars. The station's central computing core hummed with activity as Maya positioned her wheelchair next to the main interface console. Rex sat beside her, his cybernetic implants glowing brighter as he prepared to link with both Maya and the station's systems. Sarah and Dr. Harper watched from the observation area, surrounded by displays showing the approaching Kithara fleet. 3 hours until contact, Lieutenant Torres reported over the comm. All civilian personnel have been moved to the secure sections, but we can't evacuate 800 people in time. Maya placed her hands on the interface panel, closing her eyes in concentration. Rex, she said softly, I need you to help me bridge the connection between my biological systems and the station's networks. Rex moved closer, pressing his head against Maya's arm. The contact points of his neural interface collar began to glow as he established a connection with her enhanced nervous system. Through their link, Sarah felt a strange sensation, as if Rex was suddenly connected to something vast and powerful. Incredible, Dr. Harper whispered, monitoring both Maya and Rex from her portable scanner. Their neural patterns are synchronizing. Rex's cybernetic systems are amplifying Maya's biological enhancements. Maya's breathing deepened as she interfaced with the station's computer core. Data streams flowed through her consciousness, but instead of overwhelming her, the information felt natural, like reading her native language. Rex's presence in the link provided stability and focus, his training helping her navigate the complex systems. I can see everything, Maya said in wonder. The entire station's network, all the systems, even the communication arrays. It's like the station has become an extension of my nervous system. Through the link with Rex, Sarah experienced echoes of what Maya was feeling. The sensation was unlike anything in her experience, as if she could perceive the station as a living organism, with data flowing like blood through electronic veins. Maya, Sarah said urgently, can you access the long-range sensors? We need to know more about the Kithara ships. Maya's consciousness expanded through the sensor network, reaching out into space. Rex's enhanced pattern recognition abilities helped her interpret the complex data streams. 6 vessels, definitely Kithara design. But there's something strange about their approach vector. They're not coming directly at us, they're setting up a containment formation. Containment? Dr. Harper asked. They don't want to destroy the station, Maya realized. They want to capture it intact. They're planning to take the entire facility and everyone on it. Sarah felt a chill. The Kithara were known for their enhancement experiments on captured subjects. If they succeeded, not only would Maya's enhancement technology fall into their hands, but hundreds of refugees would become test subjects. Maya, can you access the station's defensive systems? Sarah asked. Maya's enhanced consciousness flowed through the network, Rex's cybernetic systems helping her understand the military hardware. The defense grid is online, but it's not enough. The Kythera ships have adaptive shielding that can counter our weapons. Traditional tactics won't work. Through their shared connection, Rex communicated a complex idea to Maya, something about using the station's own systems in an unexpected way. Maya's eyes opened in surprise. Rex has an idea, she said excitedly. The station's environmental system, we can use them as a weapon, but not against the ships directly. What do you mean? Sarah asked. Maya's consciousness expanded further, reaching beyond the station itself toward the approaching fleet. The Kythera ships use biological components in their life support systems. Their technology depends on living organisms that are adapted to specific environmental conditions. If I can interface with their systems through their communication arrays, Dr. Harper's scanner was beeping frantically as it registered the increasing complexity of Maya's neural activity. Maya, your brain is processing data at rates that shouldn't be possible for baseline human neurology. The enhancement integration is accelerating beyond your parents' projections. It's because of Rex, Maya explained, her voice taking on an otherworldly quality as she maintained her connection to the station's systems. His cybernetic enhancements are creating a feedback loop with my biological ones. We're becoming something neither of us could be alone. Through the neural link, Sarah felt Rex's absolute trust in Maya. The dog's enhanced consciousness was fully merged with hers now, creating a hybrid intelligence that combined human intuition, canine loyalty, and advanced technology. 2 hours until contact, Torres reported. Commander, our conventional weapons are charging, but if Maya's right about their adaptive shielding— Maya, Sarah said, what do you need from us? Time, Maya replied, her consciousness now spanning multiple systems simultaneously, and access to the station's main communication array. I need to establish a connection with the lead Kythera vessel. That's extremely dangerous, Dr. Harper warned. If they detect your interface attempt, they could trace it back and attack your nervous system directly. Maya was quiet for a moment, consulting with Rex through their shared consciousness. Rex says it's worth the risk. The alternative is letting them capture everyone on the station. Sarah made a command decision. Torres, give Maya full access to the communication array, and prepare all defensive systems for her command. As Maya's enhanced consciousness reached out toward the Kythera fleet, her body remained perfectly still in her wheelchair, but her mind was soaring through space at the speed of light. Rex's presence in the link kept her grounded, his protective instinct serving as an anchor to prevent her consciousness from becoming lost in the vast network. Contact established, Maya announced. I'm interfacing with the biological components of their lead ship's life support system. Their technology is more advanced than anything in human databases, but the basic principles are the same. Through the station's sensors, they watched as the lead Kythera vessel began to show signs of system instability. Its formation wavered as environmental controls fluctuated. They're trying to counter my interface, Maya reported, strain evident in her voice. But they don't understand how I'm connecting to their systems. They're looking for technological intrusion, not biological integration. Rex's neural implants were glowing brighter than Sarah had ever seen them, pouring all his processing power into supporting Maya's unprecedented connection. Through their link, Sarah felt the dog's unwavering determination to protect not just Maya, but everyone on the station. Maya, Dr. Harper said urgently, your neural activity is approaching dangerous levels. You need to disengage soon. Almost there, Maya replied, her consciousness now deep within the Kythera ship's biological systems. I can see their enhancement technology. It's crude compared to what my parents developed. They're forcing biological and technological integration instead of achieving true symbiosis. Suddenly, Maya's body tensed. They've detected me. The Kythera are attempting to trace my connection back to the station. But they're in for a surprise. Through her interface with the enemy ship's systems, Maya began implementing a strategy that no Kythera tactician could have anticipated. She wasn't just disrupting their technology, she was teaching it to function differently, using her parents' integration principles to reprogram their biological components at the cellular level. The results were immediate and devastating. The lead Kythera ship's entire biological network began to shut down, not through destruction, but through a fundamental change in its programming. Without their biotechnological systems, the vessel was dead in space. "One down," Maya said grimly. "5 to go. But they're adapting to my tactics faster than I expected. Rex, are you ready for the next phase?" Rex's response through their neural link was immediate and absolute. He was ready for anything as long as they faced it together. The remaining 5 Kythera ships altered their formation, spreading out to prevent Maya from targeting multiple vessels simultaneously. Through her enhanced connection to the station's sensors, she could feel their commanders analyzing the destruction of their lead ship, trying to understand how a human outpost had developed such unprecedented capabilities. "They're confused," Maya reported, her consciousness distributed across multiple systems while Rex's cybernetic enhancements kept her anchored. "The Kythera have never encountered biological enhancement technology that can interface with their systems. They don't know how to defend against it." Sarah watched the tactical display with growing amazement. What Maya and Rex were accomplishing together challenged everything the galactic community believed about human limitations. While other species viewed technology and biology as separate domains, Maya's parents had found a way to unite them completely. "Incoming transmission from the Kythera fleet," Lieutenant Torres announced. "They're requesting communication." "Put it through," Sarah ordered, curious to hear what the raiders had to say. The main display showed a Kythera commander, its insectoid features enhanced with visible technological implants. The species was known for crude cybernetic modifications that often replaced biological functions entirely, rather than enhancing them. "Human outpost," the alien commander spoke in accented standard galactic. "You possess technology that was not in our intelligence reports. Surrender the enhancement systems immediately, and we will allow your population to live as research subjects." Sarah stepped forward to respond, but Maya spoke first, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance as she communicated through the station's systems while maintaining her biological interface. "You misunderstand the nature of what you're facing," Maya said, her words transmitted across all communication channels simultaneously. "This isn't technology that can be surrendered or stolen. It's evolution in action." Through her connection to Rex, Maya demonstrated her point by accessing multiple station systems at once. Environmental controls, navigation, communications, and defensive arrays, all functioning as extensions of her consciousness. Rex's enhanced pattern recognition helped her coordinate these complex operations with perfect precision. The Kythera commander's cybernetic implants flickered as it processed this information. "Impossible. Biological consciousness cannot achieve such integration without technological replacement of organic functions." "That's where you're wrong," Maya replied, her consciousness now reaching out to probe the other 4 ships' defenses. "My parents discovered that true enhancement comes from symbiosis, not replacement. Rex and I are proving that biological and artificial intelligence can merge without losing what makes them unique." Dr. Harper was monitoring Maya's condition with increasing concern. "Maya, your neural activity is approaching levels that should be fatal. How are you maintaining consciousness at this intensity?" "Rex," Maya answered simply. "His cybernetic systems are providing stability, while my biological enhancements handle the processing load. We're creating something that neither human nor Kythera technology could achieve alone." Through their shared connection, Sarah felt Rex's unwavering confidence in Maya. The dog's enhanced consciousness was completely integrated with hers now, their partnership demonstrating the unique human ability to form deep bonds with other species. No other galactic civilization had ever achieved this level of interspecies cooperation. The 4 remaining Kythera ships began coordinating their attack, but Maya was ready for them. Instead of targeting their ships directly, she reached out to their communication networks, using her parents' integration principles to teach their biological components new functions. "What I'm doing to your ships," Maya explained to the Kythera commander as she worked, "is showing their biological systems a better way to function. Your technology forces biological and artificial components to work in opposition. Mine teaches them to work in harmony." The effects were immediately visible. The Kythera ships began to change course, their biological navigation systems responding to Maya's integration signals instead of their artificial control matrices. The vessels were still functional, but they were no longer under Kythera control. "Impossible," the commander snarled. Our biotechnological systems are hardened against all known intrusion methods. Known to you, Maya replied. But you've never encountered true biological enhancement before. You've only seen crude cybernetic replacement. Rex and I represent something new. The fusion of human adaptability, animal intuition, and advanced technology. Through the station's sensors, they watched as the 4 Kythera ships struggled to regain control of their systems. Their commanders were discovering that Maya hadn't destroyed their technology. She had evolved it beyond their ability to operate. Maya, Sarah said urgently, can you disable all their ships without destroying them? Better than that, Maya replied, her consciousness now interfacing with all 4 vessels simultaneously. I can reprogram their biological systems to function peacefully. Their ships will become incapable of aggressive action, but the crews will be unharmed. This was pure human strategy, Sarah realized. While other species would have simply destroyed the enemy fleet, Maya was finding a way to neutralize the threat while preserving life. It was exactly the kind of approach that made other galactic civilizations view humans as either naive or dangerously unpredictable. Dr. Harper's scanner was registering readings she had never seen before. Maya Rex, what you're achieving together is rewriting the rules of consciousness itself. You're proving that enhancement doesn't require choosing between biological and artificial intelligence. The Kythera commander's image flickered as Maya's integration reached his ship's communication systems. Human child, what you are doing violates every principle of technological development. Biological consciousness cannot sustain this level of system integration. You're right, Maya admitted, her voice showing the first signs of strain. Biological consciousness alone couldn't handle this. But Rex and I aren't alone. We're partners. His cybernetic enhancements compensate for my biological limitations. While my biological flexibility allows for adaptations his programming couldn't achieve. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Rex pouring every bit of his processing power into supporting Maya. The dog's enhanced consciousness had become completely dedicated to protecting and empowering her, demonstrating a level of loyalty and cooperation that no artificial intelligence could replicate. Maya, Dr. Harper warned, your integration with the Kythera systems is creating feedback loops in your nervous system. You need to start disengaging soon, or the neural strain could cause permanent damage. Almost finished, Maya replied, her consciousness now deep within all 4 ships' biological networks. I'm teaching their systems to recognize peaceful coexistence as the optimal function state. They'll retain all their capabilities except the ability to harm other beings. The transformation was visible on the tactical display. The 4 Kythera ships were moving into protective formation around Gamma Station instead of attack positions. Their crews were discovering that their vessels would no longer respond to aggressive commands. This is unprecedented, the Kythera commander said, his voice carrying a mixture of fear and wonder. You have not destroyed our ships, but you have made them incapable of warfare.
How is this possible?
Maya's response carried the wisdom of her parents' research and the strength of her partnership with Rex. Because true strength doesn't come from the ability to destroy, but from the ability to create something better. Rex and I are showing you what humans have always known, that cooperation is more powerful than domination. As the last ship's systems completed their integration, Maya finally began the delicate process of withdrawing her consciousness from the Kythera fleet. With Rex's help, she carefully disentangled herself from the complex network she had been controlling. But the effort had cost her more than anyone realized, and the most challenging part of her journey was still ahead. As Maya's consciousness withdrew from the Kythera fleet systems, her body trembled with exhaustion. Rex immediately moved closer, his cybernetic systems still glowing as he maintained their neural connection to help her safely disengage from the complex networks. Dr. Harper rushed to Maya's side, her medical scanner showing readings that defied everything known about human physiology. Neural activity returning to manageable levels, Dr. Harper reported, though her voice carried deep concern. But Maya, the strain on your nervous system has been enormous. We need to monitor you carefully for the next several hours. Through the observation windows, they could see the 5 Kythera ships maintaining a peaceful formation around Gamma Station. The vessels that had approached with hostile intent were now serving as an impromptu defense fleet, their crews struggling to understand how their own technology had been transformed into instruments of protection rather than destruction. Commander Chen, Lieutenant Torres's voice came through the comm system, barely containing his amazement. The Kithara ships are requesting permission to dock. They're saying they want to learn more about our approach to technology. Sarah looked at Maya, who was slowly recovering from her unprecedented interface session. Despite her exhaustion, the girl's eyes held a new maturity, as if her experience had aged her beyond her 12 years. Maya, Sarah asked gently, "Are you okay? What you just accomplished, or I can feel them," Maya interrupted, her voice soft but filled with wonder. "All 5 ships, all their biological systems, they're still connected to me in some way." Rex can sense it too. Rex pressed closer to Maya's wheelchair, his enhanced sensors confirming her words. Through their shared connection, Sarah felt echoes of the vast network Maya had interfaced with. Hundreds of Kythera crew, members whose ships now functioned according to principles of cooperation rather than domination. Dr. Harper was studying her scanner readings with growing amazement. "Maya, your biological enhancement integration appears to be complete. But there's something else happening. Your neural patterns are showing connections that extend beyond your nervous system. The Kythera ship's biological components," Maya explained. "When I reprogrammed them, I didn't just change their functions. I created a permanent link. They're part of my extended consciousness now." The implications were staggering. Maya hadn't just defended Gamma Station. She had created something entirely new in galactic history. A biological network that spanned multiple ships and species, united by principles of cooperation and protection. "Maya," Sarah said carefully, "what does this mean for you? For your future?" Before Maya could answer, the main communication array activated. The image of the Kythera commander appeared on screen, but his demeanor had completely changed. The aggressive posture was gone, replaced by something resembling curiosity and respect. "Human child," the commander said, his translated voice carrying new harmonics that suggested his own biological enhancements had been affected by Maya's integration. "Our ship's biological systems are functioning in ways we have never experienced. Our crews report feelings of cooperation and protective instinct toward your station. This should not be possible." Maya responded directly through the station's communication system, her voice carrying the same otherworldly resonance as before. "It's possible because your ship's biological components were always capable of these functions. Your technology just never allowed them to express it. Rex and I showed them a different way to be." Through their neural link, Sarah felt Rex's satisfaction. The dog understood that he and Maya had accomplished something that went beyond military victory. They had demonstrated the power of the human approach to consciousness and cooperation. "The biological components of our ships," the Kythera commander continued, "they are now programmed to prioritize protection and cooperation over destruction and domination. Our weapon systems will only function defensively. Our navigation responds to peaceful intent rather than aggressive command. You have fundamentally altered the nature of our fleet." Dr. Harper was taking continuous readings as Maya maintained her connection to both Rex and the distant ships. "Maya, your parents' research predicted enhanced healing and neural connectivity. But what you've achieved goes far beyond their projections. You've created an extended consciousness that includes multiple species and both biological and artificial intelligence." "It's not just me," Maya said, reaching down to stroke Rex's head. "Rex is essential to everything I can do. His cybernetic enhancements provide the stability and processing power that make the biological integration possible. Without him, I would just be another enhanced human. With him, we're something entirely new." The profound bond between Maya and Rex was clearly visible to everyone in the medical bay. The dog's loyalty had evolved into something more, a true partnership where both consciousnesses contributed equally to their shared capabilities. "Maya," Sarah asked, "are the other refugees on the station? Can your enhancement technology help them too?" Maya consulted her parents' research data, her enhanced mind processing complex equations with ease. The enhancement process requires specific biological markers that develop during adolescence. Most of the adult refugees wouldn't be compatible, but there are 17 children on the station who might be able to benefit from modified versions of the technology. 17 potential future enhanced humans, Dr. Harper said in wonder. "Maya, do you realize what this could mean for humanity's future on the frontier worlds?" Before Maya could respond, Rex suddenly stood alert, his cybernetic sensors detecting something new. Through their link, Sarah felt his confusion and concern. "What is it, Rex?" Maya asked, immediately focusing her enhanced senses on whatever had caught his attention. "Long-range sensors are detecting additional ships," Lieutenant Torres reported. "Multiple fleets, various species. Word of what happened here seems to be spreading across the sector." Maya's consciousness extended through the station's sensor network, reaching out to identify the approaching vessels. What she found made her gasp in surprise. "They're not coming to attack," she announced. "Ships from 12 different species are approaching, and their communication signals indicate they want to learn about the events here. Rex is sensing their intentions. They're curious, not hostile." The Kithera commander's image flickered as he received his own reports. "Human child, what you have accomplished today will change the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. Species that have never cooperated are now seeking to understand your enhancement technology." Maya looked at Rex, who responded with his characteristic protective loyalty. Through their shared consciousness, Sarah felt their mutual understanding that they had crossed a threshold from which there could be no return. "Maya," Dr. Harper said gently, "you're no longer just a refugee seeking shelter. You've become something much more important. The question is, are you ready for what comes next?" Maya's response was quiet but filled with determination. "My parents believed that humans could adapt to anything the galaxy presented. Rex and I are living proof that they were right. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." Through the neural link, Rex communicated his absolute confidence in their partnership. Whatever challenges awaited them among the stars, they would meet them as they had faced the Kithera fleet. Together, united by a bond that transcended the boundaries between species, between biological and artificial consciousness, and between the limitations that other civilizations accepted as unchangeable. 3 weeks after the Kithera incident, Gamma Station had transformed from a remote outpost into the most important diplomatic location in the sector. Representatives from dozens of species had arrived to witness firsthand the unprecedented cooperation between Maya, Rex, and the converted Kithera fleet. The station's population had swelled to accommodate scientists, diplomats, and researchers, all eager to understand the implications of biological enhancement technology. Maya sat in the station's new conference center, no longer in a wheelchair. Her enhanced healing abilities had completed the restoration of her nervous system, but she chose to remain close to Rex, who had become more than her partner. He was her anchor to humanity itself. Their neural link had evolved into something beautiful and complex, a symbiosis that demonstrated the best of both human and animal consciousness. "The Galactic Council is prepared to offer humanity full membership and advanced status," announced Ambassador Zelith, a Centaurian diplomat whose species had previously viewed humans as technologically primitive. "Your demonstration of enhancement technology that prioritizes cooperation over conquest has fundamentally changed how we view your species' potential." Sarah, now promoted to station commander due to the events she had overseen, watched the proceedings with pride and amazement. Maya had indeed grown beyond her 12 years, but she retained the essential compassion and determination that had first driven her to protect the refugees on Gamma Station. "The offer is appreciated," Maya replied, her voice carrying the subtle harmonics that indicated her consciousness was simultaneously connected to multiple systems and beings. "But humanity isn't interested in advancement that comes at the expense of other species. We've learned that true strength comes from lifting others up, not from standing above them." Through their neural link, Rex communicated his approval. The dog's enhanced consciousness had become integral to Maya's decision-making process, providing emotional stability and intuitive insights that complemented her expanded intellectual capabilities. Dr. Harper, now leading a joint research team studying biological enhancement technology, presented her latest findings to the assembled diplomats. "Maya's parents' research has opened pathways we never imagined possible. But the key insight isn't the technology itself. It's the principle of symbiotic cooperation that makes it work. The Kithera ships provide a perfect example," added Captain Vextar, the former raider commander, who now served as liaison between his converted fleet and the station. "Our vessels function more efficiently now than they ever did under aggressive programming. Our crews report higher satisfaction, better health, and improved problem-solving capabilities. The human child didn't weaken us, she made us stronger." Maya smiled at the praise, but her attention was focused on Rex, who had detected something requiring their attention. Through their shared consciousness, she felt his excitement about a new arrival in the docking bay. "Excuse me for a moment," Maya said, standing gracefully from her chair. The assembled diplomats watched in fascination as she and Rex moved in perfect synchronization, their enhanced partnership allowing them to coordinate their actions without any visible communication. In the docking bay, a small transport ship had just completed docking procedures. As the airlock opened, a group of human children emerged, refugees from other failed colonies who had heard about Maya's enhancement technology and the sanctuary that Gamma Station had become. Among them was a young boy, perhaps 10 years old, who moved carefully with the aid of mechanical leg braces. His name was David, according to the passenger manifest, and he had been injured in a mining accident on Kepler 186c. Rex immediately approached the boy, his enhanced sensors detecting the same biological markers that indicated compatibility with enhancement technology. But instead of the urgent barking that had characterized his first encounter with Maya, Rex's behavior was gentle, welcoming. "Hello," Maya said, kneeling down to the boy's eye level in the same way Commander Chen had approached her weeks earlier. "I'm Maya, and this is Rex. We're here to help." David looked at Rex with wonder. "Is he really cybernetically enhanced? I've read about the partnership between humans and enhanced animals, but I've never seen it before." "Rex and I are partners," Maya explained. "His enhancements help stabilize my biological ones, and my consciousness helps him process information in new ways. Together we can do things that neither of us could accomplish alone." Through their neural link, Rex communicated his assessment to Maya. David was indeed compatible with enhancement technology, but more importantly, he possessed the emotional maturity and collaborative spirit that made such enhancements beneficial rather than dangerous. "Maya," David said quietly, "the stories about what happened here, are they true? Did you really convince an entire enemy fleet to become protectors instead of raiders?" "Rex and I showed them a different way to use their technology," Maya replied. "We proved that cooperation is more powerful than conquest." "Would you like to learn how?" As Maya began explaining the principles of biological enhancement to David and the other refugee children, Commander Chen watched from the observation deck above. The scene reminded her of her first encounter with Maya, a moment when Rex's protective instincts had recognized something special that needed to be safeguarded. But now, instead of protecting a vulnerable refugee, Rex was helping Maya guide the next generation of enhanced humans. The dog's role had evolved from guardian to teacher, his loyalty expanding to encompass not just Maya, but the future of human adaptation itself. Dr. Harper joined Sarah at the observation window. 17 children have tested compatible with the enhancement technology. If Maya's success with David matches her achievements with the Kithara fleet, we could be looking at a completely new phase of human evolution. And Rex will be central to all of it, Sarah observed. His partnership with Maya isn't just about their individual capabilities. It's about demonstrating that consciousness doesn't have to be limited to a single being or species. Below them, Maya was introducing David to the basic principles of biological-technological integration, while Rex provided stability and encouragement through his enhanced senses. The boy's mechanical leg braces were already responding to Maya's biological signals, beginning the slow process of integration that would eventually allow him to walk without assistance. "Maya," David asked, "when the enhancement process is complete, will I be able to help others the way you helped the Kethera?" Maya's response carried all the wisdom of her parents' research and the strength of her partnership with Rex. "The enhancement technology doesn't make you more powerful, David. It makes you more connected. Rex taught me that true strength comes from the bonds we form with others, human, animal, or artificial. When you're ready, you'll help others by showing them how to build those connections." Rex's tail wagged in approval, his cybernetic systems glowing softly as he monitored both Maya and David's neural patterns. Through their shared consciousness, Maya felt his satisfaction at their expanding family of enhanced beings. As the weeks passed, Gamma Station continued to evolve into something unprecedented in galactic history, a center of cooperation where biological and artificial consciousness merged, where humans and aliens worked together as equals, and where the bond between a young girl and her enhanced canine partner had become the foundation for a new understanding of what it meant to be conscious in the universe. The Kythera fleet still maintained its protective formation around the station, their crews now fully integrated into the cooperative network that Maya and Rex had created. Representatives from dozens of species worked alongside human researchers, all seeking to understand the principles of symbiotic enhancement that prioritized collaboration over domination. And at the center of it all, a 12-year-old girl and her cybernetically enhanced German Shepherd continued to demonstrate that the greatest achievements in the galaxy came not from individual power, but from the profound connections that linked all conscious beings together. Rex's protective barking had been replaced by something even more powerful, the quiet confidence of a partnership that had changed the course of galactic civilization simply by showing that cooperation was always stronger than conquest, and that true enhancement came not from replacing what made beings unique, but from celebrating and strengthening those differences through the bonds of mutual understanding and care. In the end, the galaxy learned what humans had always known, that consciousness was not a competition, but a collaboration, and that the future belonged to those who understood that growing stronger meant lifting others up, rather than standing above them.